Hello, everyone. My name is Julie Parker. I'm the Director of Media Relations for the Prince George's County Police Department. We appreciate your patience tonight. We know it's late, and we know we're late. We had a few things that we needed to attend to. We're going to begin tonight with Chief Magaw, and then the Chief will bring up our Inspector General on the department, Carlos Acosta. Also joining us here tonight is Commander Ray Gordon. He oversees the 5th District of Prince George's County. Chief?
Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you for being patient with us this evening. Since we lost PFC Brennan Rabain in a collision earlier this month, several units in our police department have been trying to determine exactly what happened that morning. Investigators have now determined several possible factors that may have contributed to the crash. They also received the final autopsy reports from Maryland's Office of the Chief Medical Examiner. After informing Brennan's family and the Prince George's County Police Department family, we're now in a position to release to our community pertinent details regarding the collision. While the reconstruction report is not complete, we do know at one point Brennan reached a speed of 106 miles an hour as he attempted to conduct a traffic stop early that morning. When he lost control on Greenbelt Road, he was traveling 64 miles an hour. And at the point of impact, he was traveling 50 miles an hour. Additionally, results of the toxicology report reveal Brennan's blood alcohol concentration was 0.07. Under Maryland law, a BAC of 0.07 could lead to a charge of driving while impaired. Based on a review of traffic camera video, Brennan's interaction with another police agency moments before the crash, witness testimony, and evidence at the crash scene, there's no indication at this time that alcohol was the primary cause of the crash. The in-car police radio reveals Brennan changed his channel at 3:19 a.m. to channel 2, which was the appropriate channel for him to call the dispatcher where he was in the county. And the investigators believe that that's exactly what he was trying to do, is call out with a traffic stop. The first 911 call report comes in at 3:21. Now, I'm not an accident reconstructionist, but in a little over 30 years of police work, reaching down and changing a channel on a police radio, that split second at 64 miles an hour in a curve in a roadway, when the roadway conditions with the ice and the snow so close to the actual roadway, if I had to guess, that's when he lost control and hit the fence and was killed in this accident. Having said that, we'll never really know or truly know what happened to Brennan. I in no way condone PFC Rabain's decision to drive after consuming any amount of alcohol. While we will never know precisely what role alcohol played in this crash, the outcome is tragic. The excessive speed cannot be ignored either. But we do know that in the final moments of his life, this young officer was committed to protecting the people of Prince George's County. In 2012, our department launched an officer driving safety campaign called Arrive Alive, after we had 2 fatal accidents within the county. Every week, the department publishes an internal driver safety message that's sent to all police personnel and is also posted in roll calls. The message also goes out over our radio system 6 times a day. As the investigation in this fatal collision continues, this department's top priority remains supporting Brennan's grieving family and a grieving police department and a grieving community. This time I'd like to bring up our Inspector General, Carlos Acosta, who's here to provide an independent assessment of the investigation.
Thank you, Chief. Good evening. The Office of Inspector General always conducts independent oversight in serious incidents such as this. My office has been involved with this investigation since the beginning. I personally responded to the scene of the accident when it occurred. Cases like these are of great concern. However, we are committed to ensure that all matters, must be investigated fairly, thoroughly, and impartially. Thank you.
Take a few questions.
Chief, you mentioned the .07 alcohol content. How can you say that that's legally intoxicated? How can you say that no
it's
impact
impaired.
on accident?
It's
even if it was distracted by switching his channel.
Right. We're not saying it's not involved or part of the consequences. We're not saying it's the primary. When you look at, and like I said, we went back and pulled video along Greenbelt Road, reviewed that video. There's no swerving of the cruiser at all. We interviewed the park police officer that he spoke to face just prior to turning on the Greenbelt Road. There was no indication of alcohol there. The best witness we have is the witness in the Infinity that's coming up behind him, follows him for several miles, never mentions anything about swerving or anything that would indicate he was intoxicated. I can't, it's .07, those are the facts, but we don't believe, and like I said, looking at all the facts, we know that he turned his channel at 3:19 a.m. We know that, it's on the computer. We know that the first call came in at 3:21. That's 2 minutes. We've all dropped our glasses on the floor. We've all reached for something in the car, turning a radio channel. Just that second of distraction, I believe, and again, I'm not a certified reconstructionist, and to be honest with you, we're never going to know the exact cause, because there's a couple different elements involved here. But looking at all of the evidence, that would be my guess. Yes, it's driving under the influence is .08. Impaired is 07.
07 then you could consider impaired, but you could still get a DUI charge for that.
Oh, it's driving while impaired. Two different charges.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
We had talked before about departmental policy and things like that. But you could talk a little bit about 106 miles per hour. And as far as we know, the infraction was a speeding infraction. I mean, was that kind of speed warranted? And I'm sorry to second guess when you died, but is that kind of speed warranted? And you said before you didn't think it was pursuit. Do you think it wasn't pursuit? And was that kind of speed warranted given the setting?
Well, from what we know from the witness in the car is that he was trying to catch up with his car. He hits 106 at one point, and he's a continual deceleration until he loses control of the vehicle at 64 miles an hour and then hits the fence. Unfortunately, a lot of this is speculation, and I hate doing that with a young man who served this community and died protecting this community. But we're trying to make some sense of it too, just like you are. We're still tracking that down, but do you know how many blue Toyota Sienna? There's thousands, and at this point, we don't know that that vehicle was other than we believe that's the vehicle he was trying to stop. We don't have charges for that individual. So I mean, we're working through those numbers, but I'm not sure we'll ever find out who was driving that van.
Part of my ignorance that you always found that, but I remember reading about trying to look for a passenger bus or minivan that people would see on the tape. Any success with that?
Right. No, sir, not yet. No. But homicide is taking the lead in that part of the investigation. The accident reconstructionists handle the actual physical site, the actual scene of the accident. So I have several different groups working this issue, and as we get more information, if we get more information, we'll be sure to bring it to you.
Just given what we know now, with the toxicology and the speed and this, so what is your impression of what happened, and would there be a message to the fellow officers about what's coming out of this?
Right. And that's something that we always try to, in every tragedy, if you look hard enough, there's an opportunity. And that's, speaking to his family today, was very difficult. But, you know, impressed upon them that we will find some good in this, and we will become a better police department because of Brennan's death. So we're always looking for how we can do things better and do things and not put people in, our officers in particular, or the community in general, in any kind of risk. So we started 2 years ago the Arrive Alive campaign because of Adrian Morris and Kevin Bowden. We've had tremendous success with that. Last year, we were down 20% in preventable departmental accidents. It's been recognized across the country as far as what we're doing with that program. But you have an incident like this and you start all over again. But that's what we do. We will, and we'll become better because of it.
I know initially when this accident happened, your officer said that perhaps you'd be taking a look at the policy that allows officers to not only drive their cars while off duty, but to have other people in the vehicle with them. Has anything happened with that? Will that policy be reviewed or changed in any way?
It's still being reviewed. The executive review panel that is led by the Inspector General is looking at that right now. Right now, we're looking at best practices across the country, but I'm open to you know, looking at policy continuously to keep us on the cutting edge of what's best for our department.
And would it just be allowing other people in the vehicle that you're looking at, or just using the vehicles at all while off duty?
Well, we're looking at everything, but you know, there's a couple different components to this, and we're looking at that. And as that develops or we change that policy, we'll make sure and give it to you. Make sure you know what the changes are.
More questions?
Chief, just to be absolutely clear, so zero tolerance in terms of any alcohol
Yes.
in the car.
Yes.
I just have another question. As a result of this, is the department considering any change in policy concerning high-speed pursuits?
Well, we don't know the exact circumstances behind this. We're looking at pursuits because of other incidents we've had recently. So that's another thing that the Inspector General is looking at with the executive command staff. We've had these problems, and when we have problems, or we have issues, or we have critical incidents, we look at every policy and procedure that is associated with it to make sure that we're giving a direction to our rank and file, to the officer on the street. We're giving them the best direction from this level, and we're looking at that now.
What is your current policy on this?
There's really only 4 areas that we can pursue a vehicle: a homicide, a shooting, a robbery, and a carjacking. Now we're looking at that based on what happened at the metro station the other night. But again, anytime we have a critical incident, we review it. We look across the country to see what pursuit policies are. When I came in 4 years ago, probably 3 years ago now, we changed the pursuit policy. We tightened it significantly. But we're looking at it again. What?
Would this have fallen under the pursuit policy?
I'm not saying this is a pursuit. No, the other incident the other night were with the metro, down by the metro. There was a short pursuit in that. So, but this was, we don't have the information saying this was a pursuit. But again, well, trying to catch up, but we don't have enough information to make that leap. But it's not a huge leap, like you're saying. But again, pursuits have caused us problems or issues over the last several weeks, and that's a critical area that we're looking at.
Thank you, guys.